Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Andrew is away tonight. No night of hockey in Canada. NHL players join NBA pros sitting out for change.
Most of these guys have never lived through some of the stuff that black athletes have.
But how much power can a player boycott have? Donald Trump gets the final say at the Republican National Convention.
The plane has not left the gate and somebody refused to wear a mask, we will return to the gate.
Tough new measures coming for WestJet passengers. And after Laura slams ashore,
I'm just glad that we are all alive, that's it.
We're in the region with a look at the damage. This is The National. Anger over Sunday's police shooting of a black man in Wisconsin has gripped the highest levels of North American sport, with a wave of boycotts on the court, the field, and the ice. NBA players led the way last night and are sitting out their games again this evening. They've been joined by others from the WNBA to major leaguers, and tonight by players from the NHL. Earlier this evening, the league officially announced all games set for tonight and tomorrow have been called down. And that's where Devin Haru starts our coverage.
One by one, the players just kept coming, standing together in solidarity.
I think if you look around this room, there's a lot of white athletes in here. But for all these athletes in here to take a stand and say, you know what, we see the problem too.
A far cry from Wednesday night.
Racism has been embedded in our society for far too long.
A brief moment of reflection many felt didn't go far enough, and while NBA pros sat out, they dropped the puck.
I don't think we should be here. I think the NHL should postpone the games.
And so tonight, the NHL hub cities are quiet, but...
Is there going to be a conversation about the really abysmal diversity record in management? If not, is it just performance?
Amira Rose Davis says if the NHL is going to affect change, more is needed.
It would require white athletes to be vocal. It would require a real engagement that league has always been hesitant to do.
Tonight, those white athletes stood with their few black teammates and opponents.
Most of these guys have never lived through some of the stuff that black athletes have.
But that understanding runs deep in the WNBA and the NBA, with players stepping away from the court for a second night.
They want to be part of the solution. They want to help. They want justice.
That rallying cry in an exhausting week for many, and taking a visible toll.
Yeah, it was a long day for me, so.
Athletes seem ready for a reckoning, but the games start up again this weekend. Devin Haru, CBC News, Toronto.
We'll have more on the player boycotts later this hour. Our panel is standing by to discuss the decision not to play and what actions that might lead to. That's in about 30 minutes. Those athletes are responding to the police shooting of Jacob Blake. It's a shooting that sparked protests on the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Well, today, 2 counts of murder for a 17-year-old who 2 days ago fired his gun there. New video has emerged of him on the night it happened. Susan Ormiston has the details.
In Kenosha, messages of hope.
What a small town is really about is our community coming together.
Rebuilding will be easier than restoring trust in this multi-racial city, but it's a start.
The protests were super calm last night. Hopefully all this stuff here calms down now.
The crowds last night were small. It was a few hundred people, and they walked peacefully through Kenosha, and they did exactly what they wanted to do as far as the protest, to make people know their concerns, but they did it without violence.
But this sticks. Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old coming with a rifle to Kenosha, he says on this video that night to protect people.
People are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously.
On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, before his posts were scrubbed, he said a lot about his passions, guns, police, and Trump.
This president gets it done!
He made a TikTok video of a Trump rally in January from his front row seat. He now faces 6 charges, 2 for homicide. Jacob Blake, who survived this shooting on Sunday, which kicked off so much rage, is tonight in hospital, and his dad says he's handcuffed to the bed with no explanation. As the shooting reverberates, thrust into a charged political climate.
7 times in the back, in broad daylight, in front of his 3 young sons. As Vice President Biden put it, the shots fired at Mr. Blake pierced the soul of our nation.
Have you seen the video of the shooting death of Jacob Blake?
President Trump today brushed off a question about Jacob Blake while condemning the overall violence in Kenosha. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Washington.
Racial divisions, peaceful protests, acts of violent vandalism, they are front and center in U.S. politics, including at the Republican National Convention, which ended tonight. Paul Hunter looks at how Donald Trump frames them in his bid for re-election.
As the White House, and somewhere inside it Donald Trump, tonight prepared for his big speech, it was amid echoes of what's playing out in Wisconsin, and as well the clear messaging on that from Republicans at their convention this week in Washington. The headline, fear.
Democrat-run cities across this country are being overrun by violent mobs. People that can afford to flee have fled, but the people that can't, good, hardworking Americans, are left to fend for themselves.
And goes the suggestion the only way to stay safe is with Trump.
President Trump is the law and order president, from our borders to our backyards.
The hard truth is, you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Far behind in the polls, it may well be the violence in Wisconsin in a summer of heated protest plays to Trump's bid for re-election. Fear has historically been a powerful weapon in U.S. politics. Even today, the White House framed Wisconsin this way.
The more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, the better it is for the very clear choice on who's best on public safety and law and order.
Before the COVID pandemic, most expected Trump to highlight a healthy U.S. economy as the basis for a second term. That's now gone. And with a little over 2 months until voting day, fear could draw back voters who've drifted over to Joe Biden.
I think he views it as a political benefit.
Said Biden today, it won't work. And besides, he said, Trump's only making things worse.
He just keeps pouring fuel on the fire. He's encouraging this. He's not diminishing it at all. This is his America now. And you want to end where we are now, we've got to end his tenure as president.
So, Paul, closing out the Republican National Convention tonight, the speech by Donald Trump, what stood out to you?
No, it's one of those nights in Washington, Adrian, you know, from where I stand, you can hear just over the other side of the White House, you can hear the giant, mostly maskless crowd, shoulder to shoulder, cheering on Donald Trump. Meanwhile, at the same time, you can hear coming from the other direction out just past the new fence, Black Lives Matter demonstrators trying to shout down the president. Donald Trump did address that issue in his speech tonight. Here's a clip on how he tried to frame the stakes in the coming election.
Your vote will decide whether we protect law-abiding Americans or whether we give free rein to violent anarchists and agitators and criminals who threaten our citizens. And this election will decide whether we will defend the American way of life or whether we will allow a radical movement to completely dismantle and destroy it.
Indeed, Adrian, it seems clear Trump is betting fear will play a key role in the coming campaign.
All right, Paul, thanks very much. Paul Hunter at the White House tonight. For the second time during the pandemic, Quebec is reopening schools. In the spring, the exception was in Montreal. This time, it's province-wide. And as Allison Northcott found out, parents and teachers have their doubts.
Eva Gomez Brigio is starting grade 3.
It's going to be different, and I'm going to see my friends, and there's going to be like new teachers, and I'm going to be so happy.
This is a back to school no one is used to.
It's new for me, but great because it's a new start for them.
A mix of excitement and nerves.
How are they going to manage the kids, especially the like in the first year? They don't wear masks.
Like I was looking in the U.S. how many kids got infected after they went back to school. The numbers were pretty high.
Some students outside Montreal went back in May. But for thousands of others, all of this is new. There's scheduled hand washing, full class bubbles with no distancing for students in the same class, and masks for grades 5 and up, but not in the classroom. Already, though, signs of how COVID will complicate things. After a parent tested positive, about 30 students at this private school were sent home. But the province says only that parent's child should have been. Quebec says it's confident in its back-to-school plan, but some teachers, medical professionals, and parents say the measures fall short. This parent is part of a lawsuit to try to force the province to offer remote learning to every student.
I don't understand how we can so forcefully insist that people hand over their children on a hope and a prayer without also convincing them that you've really done everything you can to make that space safe.
We need to err on the most prudent safety measures possible. It may even be too much one day when we look at this in retrospect.
He says the province should encourage schools to add extra measures that meet their needs to try to stave off outbreaks and keep schools open. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Unions for Ontario teachers are threatening to complain to the province's Labour Board. Their concerns over school conditions got a response today from Premier Doug Ford.
It's time the teachers step up. Everyone else is sacrificed and differentiate between the great teachers we have in this province versus the teachers union.
Ontario would qualify for about $760 million from a $2 billion federal fund announced this week. The money must be spent on school safety. When it comes to those schools in Ontario, the deadline to get them ready for students is approaching fast. Today, CBC News got a look at how it's going in a couple of Toronto public schools. Ali Chiasson takes us on the tour.
I'm happy to see that you're wearing a mask, so we don't have to deal with a mask. Did you do your pre-screening before entering the school? Wonderful. Let's go.
Everyone's got a role.
Cough, fever, any sort of sore throat. We need all of us as a team to come together to do this work so everybody feels safe.
While teachers keep an eye on the halls for physical distancing, other staffers, even the principal, can be on screening duty.
Have a great day. It'll be troubleshooting, a great deal of troubleshooting.
Especially when it comes to classrooms.
This is a typical history classroom for us.
Next week, teachers will be in to rearrange seating and take note of any challenges.
These desks don't look 6 feet apart.
Yeah, so that's the piece that some of these desks we're gonna have to maneuver out of here.
Do you think you can fit a full amount of
15.
Students?
All we need is 15 in one class. I think spacing it properly and moving these desks out, we should have no problem.
Thank you.
Elementary schools have a similar setup, even though monitoring hundreds of young grade schoolers for spacing and mask wearing is a much different task. So teachers are working it into the curriculum.
COVID safety.
Yeah, absolutely. That has to become the new norm, for lack of a better term, because that is what kids now need to get comfortable with and learn about, because it's going to look a lot different. It's going to be tough to adjust, but we know our kids are resilient and they will figure it out.
And how are you feeling about heading back to school this year?
I'm very excited to come back to school.
Yeah, why?
Well, because at home there's not much to do, and the online learning for me personally was a lot harder than doing it in school.
Coming back to school after what's felt like the longest March break ever is going to feel weird in every way. No lockers, no cafeteria. For high schoolers at least, half days in class, the rest of the day online.
We're not gonna have classes with our friends, probably. Like, we're gonna have just like a few kids, and there's like not always like the chance that your friends will be in it.
Are you gonna miss the old way?
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, I can't wait for it to go back, but it's so much better to be here than just sitting at home.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, Elections Canada is ramping up preparations for a possible election here as early as this fall. The agency says that given the current minority government, a vote could take place at any time, so it is making preparations for a pandemic election. And that would include voting over the 2 days of a weekend to help maintain physical distancing, as well as an uptake in mail-in ballots, meaning some results could be delayed. Now to Alberta, where the government said today it is racking up its largest deficit in history, usually a major driver of Canada's prosperity. The province has been laid low by COVID-19 and a drastic slump in oil prices. Rafi Boudjikanian looks at the impact and the options.
I like a uniform design like that. These days, the only small talk in this bookshop is between the owners.
We have, a lot less of a chance to interact with customers.
Since the pandemic hit in March, they've moved to this warehouse and a pickup and delivery model.
It was difficult because, just sort of figuring out what that would mean.
Just one sign of the economic uncertainty in Alberta.
For this current year, we're projecting a deficit of $24.2 billion.
A result, it says, of COVID-19 and an oil war this spring between Saudi Arabia and Russia that pounded the price of crude.
A special debate.
The official opposition has warned for months about the government's big bet on oil to balance the books. Today, the NDP raised the specter of spending cuts.
So what is going to be cut? What are we proposing?
Public sector unions have been at odds with the province over cuts already announced. Today, the government would not rule out more of them.
We will be continuing to look for every opportunity to bring the cost of delivering services to Albertans down.
The bookstore's owners have another idea, nearly taboo in Alberta.
We're advocating for a sales tax. I think that would, help, eliminate a large portion of the gap in the deficit.
If not, there are other options, says this economist.
We could think about increases in gasoline taxes, liquor markups.
But the province has no plans for any revenue increase. Just months ago, it had planned to balance the budget in 2 years. Now it has scrapped that deadline and hasn't offered another. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
Now, from provincial finances to household budgets, many of those also unbalanced by COVID-19. Another rent day looms just 5 days from now, and eviction notices have already been piling up. Katie Nicholson looks at how tenants and landlords are suffering.
I had to pay by September 7th, and they're calling that my termination date.
In the 10 years she's lived in her downtown apartment, Patricia Holder never missed a rent payment until COVID-19, which put the dog walker and massage therapist out of business.
I either paid my rent or I paid the mass amount of other bills that I had to pay.
The bills won out. Now she owes $7,500 in rent and needs to be earning again to pay it back. Ontario's eviction ban was lifted in late July and time is running out.
It's not a debt I'm walking away from. It's just that right now, blood from a stone.
Landlords are always looked in to be the evil, greedy, rich landlords, and really we're just like regular people, just trying to make a living.
This landlord group says they too are hurting.
Since COVID, we're actually looking like a mass exodus that is happening where landlords are getting out of the game because they're not able to afford to hold on to properties.
Those who are still in the game are frustrated by the lack of government support when their tenants can't or simply won't pay.
It feels that the government is asking me to provide housing free of charge, and they are handcuffing me. I have no ability to control my own properties.
About 10% of her renters are behind or haven't paid a cent in months, and she's frustrated.
What that actually looks like to us is us not being able to pay our property taxes and our insurance and other bills that come up.
Keep the Rent banners dot this Toronto neighborhood where renter advocate Cole Weber works. He says his agency knows of roughly 6,000 eviction notices and expects thousands more in September.
So Cole, what do you say to people who are scared facing eviction?
Don't move. Organize with your neighbors and put pressure on the landlord to not move forward with the eviction.
Another month deeper in debt, another month closer to the edge. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
Hurricane Laura has left a total mess in its wake.
I'm just glad that we are all alive. That's it.
Next on The National, we're on the ground to survey the damage. Exclusive details on WestJet's tough new plan for passengers who refuse to wear masks.
It's like choosing not to wear a seatbelt.
And a new victim of COVID-19, the fight against single-use plastics.
Literally, they put every item in its own bag, so it was giving me like anxiety.
We're back in 2. Welcome back. In Louisiana tonight, the aftermath of a powerful hurricane that touched down this morning. At least 6 people are dead, most killed by falling trees. The destruction is startling, and our Stephen D'Souza is in the middle of it. So, Stephen, can you give us a sense of what it's like there?
Adrian, just to give you a sense of the sheer force of the wind, the entire front of the store just completely ripped down, and in the corner you may be able to see there was a car there when the wall came down, and in front of that car on the ground here, there's a green piece of metal and glass. That's actually the top of a bus shelter, and the shelter's about 20 meters away. It gives you a sense of how strong the wind is, and we're seeing this scene up and down the main strip here in Lake Charles, which was really took the brunt of the storm. And it's not like there was one hurricane that hit this place. It's more like a dozen tornadoes. Hurricane Laura hit the Gulf Coast with a ferocity not seen in decades.
There it goes.
Winds up to 240 kilometers an hour.
Get back!
Forecasters had warned of an unsurvivable storm surge that could send water as far as 60 kilometers inland. But as the sun rose, it was clear that surge never came, and it was the wind that did the damage. Lake Charles took the brunt of the hit.
Seeing a train that was completely derailed, long train, a bunch of different houses and businesses and farms, destroyed or missing roofs, or there's sheet metal just thrown all over fields. It looks a lot like tornado damage.
With the streets littered with glass, parts of rooftops, and debris carried by the storm, those who came to survey the damage tried to remain calm.
I got bumped in the head, and I'm trying to get back home. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's been a rough morning.
It has, and I'm just glad that we are all alive.
The region west of New Orleans is dotted with chemical and gas plants. A chemical fire at a chlorine plant forced those who had just weathered the storm to stay indoors and shelter from the toxic fumes. Meanwhile, the storm continued north, losing strength and downgrading to a tropical storm.
We have thousands and thousands of our fellow citizens whose lives are upside down because their businesses and/or their homes have been damaged.
Louisiana's governor did an aerial tour of the Lake Charles area. But along the coast, places like Cameron Parish are almost inaccessible on the ground. Most of the residents there evacuated, but officials say 150 people refused to leave. Their fate is unclear.
Okay, so there's a lot for people to deal with there. What should we be looking for tomorrow, Stephen?
Well, the Red Cross says that there's upwards of 10,000 people who evacuated and went into shelters, and then there's not counting all of the people who went in to stay with relatives in places like Texas or just further north from here. And so you're going to have all those people returning to this area to literally find not much left, and they're going to be picking up the pieces. And for store owners like this one, it's going to be a long and very difficult recovery.
All right, Stephen D'Souza, thanks very much. Hundreds of thousands of people were left homeless by that explosion in Beirut earlier this month. Well, today, Canada offered to help with Lebanon's investigation into the blast as long as it is credible and transparent. Margaret Evans is in Beirut, where Canada's foreign minister is witnessing the immense need firsthand.
Lebanon is still desperate for the gaze of the outside world. Its people need it, abandoned as they feel by their own government. Today, it was Canada's turn to look in. François-Philippe Champagne visiting a food distribution site and Canadian aid at work. He announced that Ottawa will match the $8 million Canadians have already raised for Lebanon.
If you're ready, we are ready.
There is gratitude, says Ali Haider, 23 and working with a local charity.
You know, Lebanon before the explosion was living a huge disaster, economically, politically. security-wise, you know, and the explosion was like the knockout.
It took Fatima Qudus home. She says she's never had to beg before.
Who do you blame for what happened?
All the ones in power in Lebanon are to blame, she answers. All of them. Earlier, Champagne visited the Lebanese president, Michel Aoun. Presiding from his palace over a broken political system and accused of trying to preserve it. Canada is offering to be part of an international investigation into what actually happened here, a moonscape where once there was life and livelihood. Parts of this crucial port have begun working again, slowly. Champagne says Canada will keep helping and keep faith with Lebanese demanding change, especially the youth.
I think they have spoken loud and clear about the institutions they want, the reforms they expect.
Resilience there may be, but there is also despair, and the flight from the country for so many has already begun.
Now the Lebanese youth look at Lebanon and hopeless. We are literally hopeless.
Now is not the time to look away. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Beirut.
Next, WestJet's new plan to crack down on passengers who won't wear a mask.
It's like choosing not to wear a seatbelt. There is no compelling logic to say that people shouldn't be wearing masks in an enclosed environment.
Exclusive details from the airline's CEO right after the break. Okay, travelers, here's an early heads up. Starting in September, the penalty for not following pandemic mask rules on one major Canadian airline will get a lot more harsh. Carolyn Dunn has the details from the National's exclusive interview with WestJet CEO.
WestJet is adding some tough new measures to federally mandated mask rules. Transport Canada requires masks for everyone over the age of 2 on a flight, unless they have a doctor's note. Now, in an exclusive interview with CBC News, WestJet's president and CEO Ed Sims says anyone who doesn't comply will be given 2 warnings. Then,
if the plane has not left the gate and somebody refused to wear a mask, we will return to the gate.
In extreme circumstances, a plane already in the air could turn around.
Just go!
Some U.S. airlines have been kicking people off planes for refusing to wear masks on board. In addition to being prepared to do the same, WestJet says it will ban non-compliant passengers from flying on the airline for a year.
I have an obligation and a duty of care to our staff. I also have an obligation to every other guest. So my focus is on the 99% of guests who've continued to wear masks.
Air Canada also has its own graded approach for those who refuse to wear a mask, up to and including a ban on its flights. This infectious disease specialist agrees that the lack of physical distancing on planes make tough rules essential.
We need to bring in those other layers of protection, such as wearing a mask to avoid droplets spreading to the people, not only near you, but perhaps circulating in the air and even getting to distal rows on the plane.
Beginning next week, WestJet will also require passengers to give contact information so they can be traced if there's a positive case on their flight. The airline is also devising a pilot project with the Vancouver airport and researchers to test passengers on certain flights for the coronavirus, in the hope the research can aid public health authorities. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
So masks are meant to protect people, but convincing passengers that flying is safe right now is a whole other challenge, as WestJet CEO told Ian.
Some of the people listening are saying to themselves that they may be feeling reluctant to even go to the local mall and maybe can't imagine themselves getting on a plane. What do you say to them?
So the number one objective that we have over the next 6 months is reassurance. It's reassurance of the millions of dollars we've spent on protective gear. So for those guests who still feel that somehow getting on an aircraft is more worrying than going to the local supermarket, times have changed.
Ian's exclusive interview with the WestJet CEO Ed Sims tomorrow on The National. When we come back, we'll return to our top story. NHL players are the latest to take a stand and demand change tonight. Next, our panel looks at this moment of reckoning in the sports and what role fans have in all of this. The global pandemic halted pro sports this past March, but when the NBA returned in a bubble, players demanded a platform to speak out about racial injustice and police brutality, with messages on jerseys, on courts, and players kneeling during anthems, a scene echoed across the sports world. On Sunday, when another black man, Jacob Blake, was shot by police, this time in Kenosha, Wisconsin, anger and frustration erupted again.
We are scared as black people.
This unprecedented season took another twist as basketball players upped the stakes and boycotted their own games.
We are calling for justice for Jacob Blake and demand the officers be held accountable.
This isn't just about basketball.
A show of solidarity that tonight has now spread across the sporting world in the hopes of seeing meaningful change. All right, so for more on how these boycotts are playing out and the response so far, I'm joined by Donovan Bennett, writer and host at Sportsnet. Kayla Gray is an anchor at TSN Sports Center, and Morgan Campbell is a senior contributor at CBC Sports. So thank you all for being here. There's so much to get to. Kayla, I'd really like to start off with you because I'm just really curious. What coursed through you the moment last night when you heard that, an NBA game was not being played, clearly a call of the players?
Yeah, I think as a black woman, as a black person, pride, but also sadness, because it just let me know that we are still here. Listen, we have to be very clear. It's not as though the NBA players went into the bubble thinking that visual messaging on the court, the messages that they had on their back were going to be it. We're going to solve racism. They had bigger plans. The issue is that the message just wasn't getting around and across clear enough. And I think in conversations, there was this awareness that they were the only ones in it. There was no ownership involved. There was no, other hands that needed to really play a big part. And so I think players at that point in time were like, enough is enough. If we are here and we're going to be a speaking piece, if we're going to be revisiting our trauma during our interviews to help put out a message, ownership, league, NBA, y'all got to pull up as well.
Right. So this was their call. And then Donovan, as the night unfolded and we saw more sports, more boycotts, a little bit in tennis, soccer, Major League Baseball, I'm wondering where you thought this was going.
It wasn't really surprising because basketball has been a leader, has been progressive, has been intentional. We look to COVID-19 and the fact that the NBA shut down, the other sports leagues took notice, and then the world took notice. But really conspicuous in their absence was the NHL, who had a moment of reflection in one game and not all, and not really sure what they were reflecting on. They had on their screens ending racism and skate for Black lives. I think it would have been a time to not skate for Black lives, and maybe to add another word to that, and that would be matter, and saying for the first time with their chest that Black lives matter. And so to me, my thoughts were just a juxtaposition, both on the players in the NBA and the players in the NHL, and basically the leadership, and that's why you see a juxtaposition on what their fan bases look like.
Okay, so let's talk about hockey then, because there's no question it totally stands out. And Morgan, I guess, that arguably anemic moment of silence yesterday, and then the postponing of the games Thursday and Friday, does that fall into the okay, good move, or too little, too late category?
You know what the NHL reminds me? The NHL postponing games now reminds me of. Remember baseball 2015? Jose Bautista hit that big home run late in the game against the Texas Rangers, and he flipped the bat, right? And then later on, John Tory is at Nathan Phillips Square, some ceremony, and he has a bat, and he flips it too, right? So one of these was staged and boring and lame, and one of these was super and awesome and authentic, right? So the NHL is like John Tory coming in a couple days later with the staged bat flip. But here's the thing. I'm not necessarily upset with the NHL, only because all these other leagues are taking credit for postponing games, even though it was the players that decided they weren't playing. So these leagues didn't make a choice to postpone games. It's the players that said, we're not playing, we're withholding our labor. And the leagues had no choice but to postpone. So what this tells you is that unlike the NBA and the NFL when the Detroit Lions didn't practice, and unlike selected Major League Baseball teams, what you did not have in these NHL locker rooms was a critical mass of players who felt strongly enough connected to this issue to sit out for a game.
So what do you do then? Like, what becomes the takeaway from the decision of say, the NBA to resume the playoffs, Kayla?
I think, there's a big question right now of what comes next. And I think why this is so impactful and important is because we all need to wake up to realize that that's not a question that we should be asking players. That's a question that we should have been asking ourselves. And so with the players coming back, listen, it was no easy thing to decide to do, but you have to imagine that for them to come back, there is a list of demands that they are hoping ownership meets. But also the onus is on us as media, the stories that we tell, how we tell them. Again, like I said, the way that we're putting out these quotes, we're doing it in the same breath that we're retweeting these highlights, but we're not putting or applying any pressure on institutions. And if journalistic integrity is at our core, that's exactly what we should be doing. So I think it flips the mirror back at us. It flips the question back at us is how are we going to contribute? I've said if mayors are so happy to make bets on playoffs and series and they're going to do this and that if someone wins or loses, they got to bring that same energy too when it comes to where they stand on anti-Black racism and police brutality. Call up your people. Call up your fellow mayors. Put some pressure. Ownership. You have billions of dollars. Money can move. Money can make change. And so I think that this just put the ball in everybody else's court because at the end of the day, we cannot look at NBA players, a predominantly Black league, to shoulder all of this, to shoulder the decision and plan making for problems that they did not create.
Okay, so good point about the owners. And Donovan, where are the owners now? Where are the sponsors now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, these things don't happen by themselves. These people are often moved by profit margins. And when they move, and we saw the Washington football team, their name changed when they had some pressure from their sponsors who had pressure from their consumers. And the NBA has more power than it lets on. They did not bring their All-Star game a couple years to Charlotte because they felt opposed to the HB2 bathroom bill that discriminated against the LGBTQ plus community. Guess what? That bill changed, and then eventually they came with their All-Star game and their economy and their money. So if they care as much about this issue, instead of putting Black Lives Matter on the court and sayings on jerseys, the men who, together, the owners, have billions with a B dollars, but more than that, they have social and political capital, they can use that to change legislation, laws, and hopefully eventually culture as well.
So this long history of athletes stepping up for justice and human rights, predominantly Black athletes, Muhammad Ali, Vietnam War, Tommy Smith, John Carlos, the Black Power podium salute. Can you give me a sense, Morgan, of where you think this moment stands in relation to those?
Yeah, what stands out to me is that this is a group of professional athletes leveraging their power and making it known that these games happen on their say-so, not on somebody else's say-so, right? Like all reports say that LeBron and the Lakers, Kawhi and the Clippers, they were ready to leave because they knew if those two teams leave the bubble, there is no playoffs. You cannot plan around a LeBron James. You cannot plan around a Kawhi Leonard at this point. We have not seen recently pro athletes put their identities as Black people before their identities as basketball players to make something happen for Black folks in general. And that's what we saw last night.
All right, one last question very quickly to each of you. We'll start with you, Morgan, then Donovan, and with Kayla. What is the place and the role in this moment for the fan?
What's the place and the role in this moment for the fan? What I would like to see fans do is the same thing I would like to see members of the mainstream media do, which I don't feel I see enough, which is to respect these athletes as human beings first, not as robots programmed to entertain, and not as one person is interchangeable with the next is interchangeable with the next in terms of his or her opinions on Black liberation. And so what I would love to see is for us in the media, to stop asking players whether or not they think they have done enough.
Okay, Donovan?
Yeah, just to follow up on that point, athletes are the only people who we ask to both educate and entertain at the same time. We don't do that to comedians or actors or musicians. And I'm not really sure why we're asking the oppressed to figure out solutions for the oppressor. Really, our gaze should be on the owners, and they should be the ones who are accountable both to the fans, but also to us as the media as well.
All right, last word to you, Kayla.
Absolutely. I think it's as simple as this. If you show up for what athletes do, you better be showing up for who athletes are. I'm tired of, frankly, hearing fans talking and putting out their hashtags and this, that, and the third, and talk about allyship and listening and learning. Application needs to happen. It needs to happen now.
All right, Kayla Gray, Donovan Bennett, Morgan Campbell, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on The National, a new side effect of COVID-19.
Literally, they put every item in its own bag, so it was giving me like anxiety.
Why Canadians are changing their tune when it comes to single-use plastics.
I'm Josh Block. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, the significance of the NBA players' unprecedented protest this week following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
So here's one way our lives have been changed by the pandemic. There is a lot more plastic. But as Philippe de Montigny explains, the fight against single-use plastics is losing a lot of ground with Canadians.
Plastic use has shot up during the pandemic. Masks, gloves, takeout containers, and lots of other packaging as online orders soar.
At the beginning, I was doing like Walmart grocery delivery, and literally they put every item in its own bag, so it was giving me like anxiety having so much plastic.
According to a new Dalhousie University survey, nearly a third of Canadians say they bought more goods packaged in plastic since the pandemic began. Support for stronger regulation to curb the use of throwaway plastics dropped from 90% in May 2019 to 79% last month. Support for an outright ban on things like bags, straws, and cutlery fell from 70% to 58%. This researcher says right now, people are less willing to pay extra for eco-friendly alternatives.
Given the fact that food prices are actually going up right now, the last thing they want is another reason to increase prices, because they're, from a budget perspective or financially, they're very vulnerable.
The fight against single-use plastics has been sidelined by COVID-19, some saying it's been set back years, but environmentalists aren't giving up.
There's so many non-plastic related ways of having your shopping done and having your produce wrapped, and they're just not accessible. And also you walk into a store and you just don't have the choice anymore. You're full of plastic again.
This environmental advocate hopes the federal government won't further delay its proposed ban on single-use plastics. This shopper says public health and the health of the planet must go hand in hand.
I think that kind of comes down to grocery stores and governments making sure that the actual packaging we get our things in is reduced as best as it can be while still being sanitary.
According to the survey, more than half of Canadians would rather wait until after the pandemic is resolved before implementing any new measures. Philippe de Montigny, CBC News, Toronto.
A Calgary walking group decides to take it up a notch and do a cross-country walk, sort of. Next in our moment. So these Calgary seniors decided, you know what, let's walk across Canada. Well, theoretically, of course. They couldn't actually leave their home because of the pandemic, but that didn't stop them from walking. They mapped the steps it would take to go from coast to coast to coast, and so they did it. And that is our moment.
We started in April measuring our steps in the snow.
Making it a virtual walk across the country added a little interest to it.
Pretty amazing when you think that we walk from the Pacific Ocean across our whole country, and to actually dip our toes in the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, that's pretty amazing for just a bunch of seniors who were trying to make something positive happen as a result of our lockdown. So as we collected steps, we mark them across the wall.
I thought it was rather nice to get that far and to have helped the people in here have a little bit of fun as we lived through this terrible pandemic.
And these people are organized, so they have trackers for their steps. They had spreadsheets to mark their distance. They had a picture of a cod, so they could all sort of kiss the cod. And most importantly, Marion, who you met there, happened to have a 20-year-old bottle of Screech from Newfoundland. What more do you really need? That is the National for August 27th.